of our youth who don't have work, they may have work there. If the governor can do that for us, it's very nice. Many people will have employment there.
If they bring this their local production, it go help. The hardship go feel reduced for people.
Yes, we need them well so that it go help us. It's the way we go market, things they very expensive. So as we buy, now so we sell.
It's a good idea. First, a laudable idea. Our main families too will spring up again. That now cannot reduce the inflation rate because goods and services all hinge on this first subsidy of a thing. But what we do is that those who will be there will be able to provide for their family.
So let's have that conversation now, shall we?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
And now, hello Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So, as always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it, didn't hear it. Do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Very importantly, do not make inciting statements. 0817 923 0003. 0817 923 0007. 0817 923 0003. 0817-923-0007 at Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. That's Twitter. At Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Then WhatsApp and Telegram available on 0809 030 6416. What do you think happened to Songhai Farms? And it's not just Songhai Farms, if we're honest. You know, there's also the Revamping Palm company in Port Harcourt. It used to be very popular. Well, anyway, one thing at a time. Dennis is in LMA Junction. Dennis, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
My name is Zenith.
Oh, Zenith. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yeah. Good morning, Zenith.
Good morning. Thank you.
Go on, please.
First of all, I want to know, where is this Songhai Farm at? Because this thing has been trending over some days now.
Yeah, it's in Thai.
Where is it located?
It's in Thai.
Okay, Thai, Ogoni.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad one. It's a good idea by the government. But looking at our government of these days, we lack something very important.
What is that?
The maintenance culture.
Okay.
It's easy to establish a thing, but it's very, very difficult to maintain it. See that thing is done properly. I don't want to criticize any government, but a very clear instance: the flyover bridges, the overhead bridges that was done by the immediate past governor of the state. The road has not been maintained. There's no proper cleanups. The gutters, the canals that link, those things are choked up with grasses, are choked up with sand. People are not sweeping it. And most parts of it, there is no light. Okay, let me not deviate from what the topic is.
Yes, let's
talk about the Songhai Farm.
Yes.
But before then, there was a banana plantation Amechi established at that same Ogoni, along the Ogoni, going to Akwa Ibom, by the roadside. That farm did not last up to 3 years. Before I knew it, everywhere, everything gone. The expensive species of that banana, because that species of banana was very, very expensive. You cannot find even one seedling of that banana again. So this Songhai Farm is a nice thing, but we all know that our government is good in bringing nice and decent ideas. But how much can they maintain it? How many years will they be able to run this thing for the benefit of for the benefit of its citizens? So that is just it.
All right. Zenith, thank you very much. We have Valentine on the line. Let's get to
that want to revamp this. But the problem we have in Nigeria as a government is continuing a project and as the last caller said, maintenance culture. For example, you can see that the governor, the immediate past governor, established pleasure park, and it's no more on seat. The pleasure park is functioning. If government can make a project and invest in that project, negotiate with private sectors to help them run that project, I think it will be of benefit to the people. Because when government manage their own resources, their own project, you see politics coming to play, and at the end, that project will just die off. You can see that farm, for example, if the government main business privatize that farm, they have that percentage. You discover that the private sector will mount on it and remit the percentage every month back to the state government.
So basically a PPP. Okay. All right. Let's get on a break, and when we come back, I'll tell you some interesting stories from Edo State. One more time. This morning, inside Rivers, we're taking a look at the agricultural sector here in River State, and it's business. Everybody's talking about, how to bring cost of food in particular down. Every other thing, will follow. Some say we see the other way around. Anyway, point is, food is expensive, and then the government is saying, look, we need to have a way to get things an uneven keel. We want to get this particular enterprise back on track, revamp it, and make it more sustainable for the people who are resident in the state. That way, we're going to get more people working, and obviously, we're going to be seeing a reduction in criminality. Oh, in case you missed that, this is what the governor said. Let's quickly get you to hear his comments.
What are the advantages we're going to get after which? Food sufficiency, employment will also be there. We talk about youth restiveness. When you have employment for the youth, do they need to come and disturb anymore? So those are part of our plan. At least, let me say, immediate plan. There might be other long-term plan about this place, but this is the first thing we need to do.
So this is the first thing you need to do. We need to revamp it, get it back, so that more people can come here and do business. Which was a good idea, because once again, like I stated, there was a time when the Songhai Farm was very popular. A lot of people kept making the hell where we buy watermelons from there. It was pretty good. And at that point in time, there was also, I don't know what the name of the farm is in Akwa Ibom, but my friend then told me that there was a huge farm in Akwa Ibom, and that's why the poultry that we were buying was cheaper there than it was here in Port Harcourt. So let's flip it again and let me take you down the road, not too far, about 164 kilometers away, or is it 64 miles? I'm talking about good old-fashioned Edo State, the ancient kingdom, if I may say so. Now, in that same kingdom, there is also a plantation. It's called Okomu. Just in case you've never heard of it, it is one of the plantations, in fact, arguably one of the biggest in Nigeria as regarding the production of palm oil products. But this is where it gets even very interesting for us this morning. Remember, I made mention a few moments ago that we have Reason Palm here in Port Harcourt. Question is, how many of you know it, remember it, what exactly is going on with it? Well, I don't know. I really can't tell you. But I can tell you for free that back then in Okomu wasn't too far from, the main town, there used to be a small road, from Santana Market area. Okay. Basically, I'd visited the place. Beautiful, vast, but then something happened. The place started to deteriorate. That place, right, had quarters where staff would stay, where farmers would stay, where managers would stay. It was like a small community. It really was like a small community. But I know at one point in time in the mid-2000s, they were making palm wine bottled. They were making palm wine. It was sold in very many bars in Benin. Now, I haven't seen bottled palm wine in Port Harcourt. There could be, I'm not quite sure, right? There could be, but I haven't seen. But the point here, all of these were derivatives of a particular spot, of a particular place dedicated to agriculture. Now imagine when Songhai Farm, gets back its former glory. And I think for the interest of Rivers residents, and indeed for Nigeria, it is imperative that it gets to that point. It truly is. But why did it get to that point? Remember, I said in the mid-2000s up to, like, say, 2018-19, I'd visited Benin and I could still find bottled palm wine. I couldn't find anything like that here in Rivers State. So what exactly led to the deterioration of the Songhai Farm? And two, which is the most important bit in this conversation, how can it be prevented? How can this reoccurrence? Because for Siminalayi Fubara, that's the governor, to say, okay, we want to revamp it. That means money is about to be spent. Question is, when this money is spent, how soon would Rivers residents and Rivers people get to see the benefits, and more importantly, make sure this thing continues? Because, and this is probably the catch point I like to bring to you, this is what I want to bring to you as regarding this conversation, that the three biggest producers of palm oil, right? Indonesia, or let me say four. Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Nigeria. And Indonesia produces biodiesel primarily from palm oil. So there is a gold mine. No, there's an oil mine waiting to be explored.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
As always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. If you didn't see it or hear it, please do not make mention of it. That means do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Please. Numbers to call 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. That's WhatsApp and Telegram. If you want to get to speak to us, please. The numbers available are 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. Zion is on the line. Zion is speaking to us from GRA. Zion, good morning to you, please.
Good morning to you.
Welcome.
Indeed, Governor Sim Fubara has broken the social media space here in Rivers State and in Niger Delta at the mention of visiting and revamping the Songhai Farm. Sir, what killed Songhai Farm was a lack of government policy. There was no legal framework to sustain the Songhai Farm. I don't know if you've been there before. My brother, that place was somewhere that was preserved for nature. There's not only just a farm, there's also an hospitality industry here.
True.
Where you can lodge.
Yes.
Guess another thing. Acacia farm plants are also there. You know acacia wood, right?
Yes.
They are also available. If I mention things that were there, lack of government policy. But I want to call on the government. Look at the their place and even with us. That thing that is making pledge back to work. They should also use that same thing. You see that same thing, if it's a ghost, it's an alien, whatever it is. There's also important thing to farm. The truth is this, the farm hasn't been attracting students, attracting investors home and abroad before now. To tell you how large is that farm. So I think the governor is in the right direction, but he should look into policies that will sustain that investment and a legal framework that will also guide and bind their interest. Because with the number of affiliate universities that are now gaining interest through agriculture, imagine University of Akure, they came there with their students, they came there with practicals and other works. So we have a cutting edge with it. So we just need a legal framework and a government policy to sustain it. And I know Rivers people will be employed. Just imagine, you can even go there for weekend relaxation, eat fresh fish. There is also a lake in that same place.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I need to go there.
Yeah, I really need to. Now that you mentioned it, thank you very much. That's Zion. All right, so you need to get there. And it's not about culture. It's also about the aspect of the area. Like I said, it's about 300 hectares of land. Mufasa is speaking to us from NTA Road. Mufasa, welcome to the conversation, please.
Yeah,
good
morning. So much has been said about the enormous advantages that the Songhai Farm is to Rivers people, the state and Nigeria in general, because the state is a microcosm, the subset of the Nigerian state. It simply means that there's nothing that will be coming out from the Songhai Farm that will still spread across the length and breadth of this country. To this end, I want to commend the governor for taking these giant strides, for coming to tell Rivers people that he, of course, is willing and ready to diversify the economy of the state. It is like what Zion has said. I think he has said it all. I think what that place needs is proper management, because if money is put into that, project and the place is working, and we don't have a good management team, we'll not be able to achieve so much. or if we have good management after the place has been properly put in place, I can tell you for free, Jude, that the things that particular venture, that Songhai Farm, the things that it will bring to this state is something that you cannot even quantify in terms of figure. So I want to urge the government, now that he has told us, he has assured us that he's going to reactivate the place, proper management team to be put in place to manage that project so that we enjoy it to the fullest and judiciously. That's my position on this matter. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Ida from Munkora. Good morning, Ida.
Yeah, my brother, good morning, my lovely brother. How are you?
Good morning, welcome.
First of all, I want to thank the governor of Rivers State, Sasim Fubara, for that Songhai Farm. Yes, just like others have said, my brother, if they do that place very well and better management, you should look for better people. And I believe those who want to manage that place should not come for that senatorial district. They should come for outside the state, that they can be able to manage very, very well. Now, if they carry me to there now, I'll do brother something. I want to plead my brother. I want to favor my brother. The place will not work. They should look for somebody that is from outside who know this agriculture business to come and take over that place. Look at Pleasure Park. It's booming today because people are managing it. They will employ the community people. They will employ people from the center, but the head should be from outside, and we will achieve it. I want to thank His Excellency. After pronunciation, investors are trooping in. He pronounces this Songhai Farm. Investors are trooping in steady to come and invest in the university. You should please do the right thing at the right time. Thank you very much. God bless and
all right, interesting comments there. We'll put a fine comb over Ida's comment shortly, but let's get to hear from Charles, who is in Bonny Island. Charles, good morning to you, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, because as our people, our government, and something I think it has been good. If the governor can borrow 200 billion just to construct roads, what stops the governor to borrow 200 billion agriculture? From Ogoni out, so they have four local governments, and I believe they have the largest land in Rivers State, followed by a case. But day in, day out, government in, day out, we always hear about road. We cannot move forward. That's what we are discussing about. Something we can do.
But that's what the governor is saying. Governor is saying, look, we have to revamp that place so that we can start to make money from it, and also provide jobs for the people. That's what the governor has just said.
Let's see how it goes. People are talking about Amechi Farm. Amechi came to Bonny here, fish farming. It's not some people, a fish pond in my community. At the end of the day, it ends up in Amechi's fish farm in Bonny. Someone farm in William John, one of the Jumbo villages, was snapped as one of the fish farm. The government are not sincere to us. That is why we are suffering all this.
All right, Charles, thank you very much. Michael is in Borough Creek. Michael, thank you for your patience. Good morning, please.
Hello, Jude.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning.
Jude, the truth is that our leaders know what to do, but this wouldn't want to do it. Remember that day you talked about a farm that is as big as from
Port Harcourt to
yes. Edo State, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. This one is not even up. It's not even quarter of it. This one, though our land is 230 something acres.
Yes,
it's a head of land. If people at that place could manage a place as big as that, the same head, the same heart, the same vital organ that we have, the same thing that we have. If that business could be managed that are today, I thought that has come to a reference point for us here to look at. Why can't we do such things? Look at the zoo. I think that day I told you went. Look at the zoo in a very people state. Go to now the zoo is a very small place compared to 230 acres of land.
True.
Here they could manage the zoo.
True.
So that would bring people, that would bring in money. Nothing. Okay, come to town. You are very familiar with town. Look at the Jubilee Park here, rotting away. It has now turned to where people come to wash cars, to smoke hard drugs. As little as this place, about 5 plots of all I don't know how many plots of land, but a very small place could not be managed. We have many places that are littered all over the state that can absorb 1 or 2 persons, but they wouldn't want to do it. Are we going to keep praying for? They say pray for your leaders to do well, to succeed. Meanwhile, they are doing worst.
Okay, but now the governor said, look, we are back on. We want to get it to work, right? I think almost every caller has made mention about government management. That's why the farm, went down. Now,
government can be good. See, when they say government is not a good manager, it's a lie. Okay, they say government is not a good manager, but they can manage the finance into their pocket, but they cannot manage something that would change the lives of people. In US and other advanced countries, and the most businesses are being run by the government. So it's a little bit to make work, to put people under their feet so that they could come back for crumbs. That's the thing.
Michael's it's a bit of a conspiracy theorist. He says no, that's not the intention. The government won't make him work. They can, but they choose not to. Anyway, let's get to Facebook now. At Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. That is Twitter, by the way. At Nigeria Info PH. At Nigeria Info PH. All right. Just drop follow. I'm surprised you're not following, but for those of you who follow, and that's I'm looking forward to talking about the differ. But that'll be much later. Right? Yes, it's coming, and it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Clement is on the line this morning. Clement is talking to us from NTA Road. Clement, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, Clement. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. There is Songhai Farm, right?
Oh, there's an Kwara State. I know that, honestly.
Yes. The one in Kwara, and since the time of the former governor, Kola Saraki, I think we had a lot of that was the farm. I would say do your verification, or you can verify. They have one of the largest milk dairy, I think, in Africa or West Africa, from Kwara State. And I want to also say you can verify.
I'm doing that. Doing that right now.
Whether it's that can collaborate. Most of the milk manufacturing or milk factory, they get their milk from that farm. And I hear that over 180 from the Songhai Farm state. Now, there are over 10 farms, over 10 different aspects of farms inside there, talking about poultry, cash crops, animals, and all that, inside the Songhai Farm in Kwara State. Now, from research, I hear that the farm employed over 4,000 persons. Now, what does that mean? It tells you that if, I don't know if it is the government that manages it, or if they gave it to a private company or individuals, because we know that even you, Jude, if you have a backyard and you discover that your backyard, you can do more with it, but you don't have the space, you can go take maybe a place or a space in the Songhai Farm, and you'll be paying government. You do your arrangement, I'll be paying government from what you are getting from the Songhai Farm. All you need to do is, okay, I want to farm, for instance, cucumber. And the girls, women, boys, the reason why fire is thriving is because it's an alternative way to survive when there is no structure for them to work with. So we have so many other farms that are owned by states in Nigeria, but the River State we used to have. Now, what kills it? We know. Let me not start going there. But this is what I want to say. If the governor is serious and that farm must move on, stakeholders like your newsroom did do their work. Stakeholders must be brought to the table from different parastatals, the professors. I hear there is even an agricultural school still within that axis, if I'm not mistaken. And this agricultural school was commissioned last in last administration, that is last year, if I'm not mistaken. How is that school functioning? If that school is functioning, that school should have, like a partnership with the Songhai Farm and every farm in Rivers State. Because you cannot have a school, an agricultural school. Where would they go and collect their specimens from and all the things that they will use to do their practicals and all that? If not from the same state. So for me, number one, they should ensure that the courts, the judiciary, will not come up with what we should not entertain things that will kill what the governor wants to do, because I know that communities will start filing cases in the courts to slow down what the governor to do. So the court, the judiciary should not entertain.
People have a right to bear that grievance. But Clement, we will have to hold your thoughts there as we get to hear from Sunday, who is in Alu. Sunday, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Thank you for your patience. Please go ahead, Sunday.
Yeah, I think the Songhai Farm will be very beneficial to the government, individuals in terms of employment, and also make food cheap in the state and in Port Harcourt in general. So, like what the first caller have said already, I think the most challenging thing is maintenance. So if the government can swing into action and make the place working again, then maintain it, I think it will really benefit the state. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Sunday. Great to have heard from you. Now, it's interesting that as what's his name again? Clement. Yes, as Clement was speaking, I had to just go and check up his comments about the farm in Kwara State, right? And ladies and gentlemen, it is huge. And I mean, it's huge. It is huge. And it's not Songhai. This one is Songhai. Songhai Farm. Songhai Farm. That's Shonga. Songhai Farms. Whew. The pictures here are amazing. And it's basically a venture with about 13 farmers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, I'm right. 13 farmers or farm companies, right? So you have the ones that are producing cassava. You have the ones that are producing cereal. You have the ones that are producing milk, raw milk. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the farmers there, right? That's under half of them are producing milk. So it does give credence to what Clement did make mention of. That they are actually producing a lot of milk in that area. This is amazing. They also produce poultry products, poultry meat. And that was a plan for Songhai years ago, when it started. And Songhai Farm is not 10, 20, it's about, if I'm not mistaken, about 3 decades old, if I'm not mistaken. All right? So, like I said, we are sitting on an oil well. That is Songhai. It's not making sense why, food is, I won't say it's too cheap, but it's relatively fair in Ilorin. Those of you who travel by road, you know what I'm talking about when you're traveling past when you get close to Kwara, Kogi, Lokoja area. You get to hear how much they pay for their meals. It's making sense now. Okay, all right. Well, there you have it. I'm not going to give you any more stats, any facts and figures. You've all done justice to this conversation. You've given the reasons why and what should be done to prevent a reoccurrence of the poor state of Songhai Farm. Somebody said whatever spirit that's used to maintain the Port Harcourt Pleasure Park should be sent there as well. My name is Jude. Thank you as always for joining us in that conversation. We'll have a break coming up, and then I'll get to talk to you about your friends.
He done of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan,